Alrighty, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of VR concept art design modeling. Um, this week we've been building mechs, and there we go. And mostly we've started with the yeah, what you call it, Pacific Rim style, BattleTech style, giant combat robots. Which is kind of an awesome style. I like it. Today, I think I'm going to switch it up a little bit and go with more of a Simon Stalenhag, again, kind of industrial working machine mech, which is you may have noticed from the things I do. I like industrial machines a lot. Um, and I'm just sort of sketching a really rough thing, and I'm just using this completely bullshit. Actually, I'm going to switch tips even just to go to a square. Um, okay. But yeah, I like the industrial working machines concept as much as the military grade aspects of things. I find that something I never thought would happen, but the older I get, really, the less interested in military stuff I get. I find it kind of boring now. At least not entirely. Obviously, I like a good thing as much as anybody else, but but it doesn't excite me the way it used to. Whereas like a good designed industrial vehicle really makes me kind of into it. I'm excited about it. Um, so go with where your passions are, at least for right now. I'm not saying that there will not come a time where I'm not super psyched to make another military vehicle. And I mean, I do make them pretty consistently, but um, so I'm just sketching out something, kind of switching gears to talk about what I'm doing. Um, and the vibe I'm going for is kind of like a John Deere machine. Um, Something that um, yeah, a John Deere machine, um, a working mech versus a military or a personal vehicle. Something that we could see in the fields or lay in pipe or whatever. Um, and you see, this is really low res. I'm just trying to get a sense of what I want out of it. Um, but so when I was a kid, I lived in this little town in southern Ontario called Blackstock, and right behind me was a John Deere. I think I'm even young enough. I'm not even sure. But some kind of like a tractor graveyard, for lack of a better word. I know they did welding and stuff in there too, but they had all these just old tractor and farm equipment like combines and harvesters and all that kind of stuff, just sort of sitting there. And it was kind of always a little bit exciting and a little bit scary. And of course, like I was like 6 or 7, and I wasn't allowed to go into them. But we always wanted to go play over there, and it was just deserted enough to sort of make it seem interesting, and not deserted enough that you weren't going to necessarily, you were always afraid you were going to run into somebody, and that made it probably even more exciting and cool for us. And I mean, we played over there a little bit, but not a lot. um so okay, I feel like maybe let's leave that one over as a rough sketch and do another one real quick. I've moved from using the square to moving this more panel sort of shape. And no real reason, just because. Stalenhag always has those like cool things sticking out the back or side, and I kind of dig it. I'm not sure like what the purpose of them, which is kind of what makes them cool, I think, to begin with. But we're kind of looking at tractor shapes, particularly from the 80s and 70s. So a little bit of hard edge. And then here's our platform for where the legs would go. And I think we're going to build like a centralized thing there. And then we'll jump back to go to the egg, or the pill rather. And some kind of just a joint thing there. Again, this is just a rough sketch. This one's a lot taller than the last one. It's kind of a lanky feeling. That could be neat. And then fill that space in there. Give us sort of an engine shape or something in here. Something like that, maybe. I'm not digging these legs like that. There's not a problem with it from a design. It's just not interesting from a looking perspective to have everything be just totally straight. So maybe down and then down like that. Yeah, that's cooler. And then sort of same. That one's going to kind of go out like that, maybe. No, it feels weak to go that way. Let's go the other way. Yeah, it's better. We could add a third set of legs. Maybe. Like that. In which case, if we do that, that's something like that. Yeah, something like that's kind of cool. I think I'm liking that one more than the first one. Let's go with that and see what we get. Nuke out the first one. And again, do we want to build from this or just use this as an example? I think we're going to build from this. And see, once again, I'm not level, but all right, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Layer 1. Move it off to the side. Keep it there so we can see what it looks like. Layer 2. Let's try even doing that. Make it a bit wider. And then maybe a bit longer that way. That's kind of neat. Let's see if we can't do a bit more. Just kind of taking our sketch and playing with it. Yeah, I'm liking that more. Bring that back in. Cool. Yeah, I think that's going to be a winner for us. We're gonna obviously this is bad and whatever, but we can fix that. Okay. Pick a tool. Let's do the same thing we did yesterday. And oh, that layer. This layer. Paint the whole sucker red. Because I just want to be able to know what's my base layer and what am I going to build on top of. Okay. So now back to clay and new layer. And let's increase the res once. And we got lots of space still. Cool. And let's start looking for how we want to make this sucker right. Shape to start with. Don't know. Let's see. Custom shapes. Sure. I'm going to use my new replacement to the cryo chamber. And I'm going to go to single. And let's try to lay it in. Okay. And then let's go to move, an active layer only. Bring that in. Just to start giving us how this thing should be. Cool. Yep. Look like liking that as a part. Use the same part here. And pull it out a little bit. Pull it out a little bit here. And maybe, let's see. Bring it across. Yeah, all right. We've lost a little bit of the straightness, which happens to the thing, but we're going to add some more parts to it, and I think that'll be okay. So just laying it in. Maybe use this part one more time here. There. Or even 2 more times. Haven't quite decided when enough is enough for one part before you're like, okay, so you've overused this, stop. But I don't think I've got there yet. Okay, so there's our basic body form. We need to give it the cockpit. Let's do that on its own layer just cause. And different shape. That. I think that will actually work really nicely. The front. Yeah, and then maybe we can, since we're on our own layer now, drag that out. Cool. Yeah, it feels cool. And okay. Now we need to deal something with the legs in the front part. Let's just give it some legs. Use this. And again, another new layer. I think this is going to be our initial leg component. And then you want to warp it. Forward a little bit. A little bit. I'm going to hide all that stuff there, so it's not a big deal, just to make it more in line with where we want it to be. And then we're going to need some kind of a knee joint thing. I'm going to just go with a straight up ball this time, just to try something different. I'm trying to think how it turns, so it looks like it's going like that. And That. Yeah, cool. Digging that so far. And then maybe we'll try this part for the lower section. Give it that like yeah, see this one didn't go exactly like the other one did, but that's okay. We'll move it in a little bit. And maybe then we'll need to pull it down a little bit. Okay. Now let's turn off our red. I feel like we're starting to get enough that I could build without it now, and get a better sense of what this thing's actually going to look like. So far, I'm kind of digging it. That's a little blobby, but we're going to add more detail to it. That's looking nice. That's looking good. I need to fill that in there. Okay. Let's add feet. Feet are, as I've said before, always kind of a bit tricky for me. I'm never exactly sure what we want a robot foot to look like. So for right now, we're just going to do that. And I think I actually took that down too far. It's always hard to tell. So line up, yeah, I took that down too far. No. Yes. Up. A little more. Okay, and then now I'm going to adjust it so I can, no, I want to change the size of it. Good enough. Move it over here and place it. Okay, it's a little off, but I think once we put it in terrain, it should be okay. It's feeling pretty all right to me. Okay. So new layer. I did the feet. Yeah, well, it's fine. Let's just merge these two. So now we have feet. Yep. A new layer. Increase res. Still in good shape. Okay. So now let's start filling in our spaces here. Down like that. That's cool. Same thing here. Can't join it to that. There we go. Yeah, that's cool. And I love how these shapes become something completely different once you warp and pull them. I know I've said it before, but look at that. Like it's just, that looks nothing like that. What I would call this like a cap of some kind, and now it's just a cool form. So let's see if we can do the same here. Yeah. Nice. Right up there. Right. Looks good. So we kind of filled him in a bit more. So now he's actually, and you see, looks like the head is angled up on this one now because as we've rotated it, and that's fine. I like that. It feels a little front heavy. Kind of want something here, or pull that back to there and fill. That could be cool. Pull that back to there and then fill that space in, and that could be neat too. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that with another custom shapes and maybe this plate grill, if we can make it large enough. That's how the grill goes. Okay, so we want to adjust it. Put a grill there. there. And now it feels like a combine of some kind. That's cool. For some reason, I really associate grills with like that, with like farm equipment. I don't really know why, but I like it. Okay, so we've got that in place. And let's fill that space there just with something straightforward. There we go. Yep, definitely. Definitely feeling this one so far. I hope you like it too. I guess if you don't, that's not my problem, but you always want somebody to like what you're doing, right? Um, so as artists, we all are like, it's my vision, but really, really, the reality is that it may be your vision, but if no one else likes your vision, you're probably not going to be that happy with it. Maybe you will be, but some people are. But I'm not. I really definitely am kind of weak that way. I want somebody else to like what I'm doing too. Um, and okay, we need to fill in that space here. Um, just with the solid. I don't know. Doing front. Yeah, that's cool. And then fill in this bottom space here. Do we want to leave that hole down the center or fill it with like piping maybe? That could be kind of neat. Like if there's some kind of back and forth here. Um, I haven't used this piece yet. Let's see how I feel about it. Make it like a kind of like a drivetrain. No, I'm not liking it there. Oh, this is another one of those ones that doesn't line up exactly where I want it to be. No, I'm not feeling it. The cage. No, I'm not feeling it. I think I might want it to be a little bit more solid. Let's fill it in with something. But can we fill it in with something? Where's our space? How's this reading? Get over here so I can see. Part of my problem is my center line is so close to where I'm working that it's hard to see what the shape is. Yeah, okay. That's good. Again, it's still got the interest there, but yep, that's cool. I even like those in the back, so sure. So we filled it in. Now we have a solid looking thing. I think I would want these to be window panels. 1 second. I don't know why I beeped, but I beeped. Okay. I want those to be windows panels, and if I were painting this in Substance Painter or something like that, I could just paint them on that way. But since I'm probably just going to cube map this janky style in Keyshot, let's go and just give us a new set of window panels that we can use on top of that. So that okay, so now that can be a window in front of the thing, and the same on this side. There we go. So now I have a glass texture that I can put on top. That'll read right and rename. Let's just call it glass. Doesn't super help me because there's no way to lock it. But maybe one day. And in the meantime, at least now I'll know when I've screwed up if I start sculpting on top of that. Okay, so what else do we want to do? This, like I said, is pretty It's pretty low res looking for the legs. I might actually just redo it a higher res because I like kind of like those parts. It just doesn't look right. Um, let's see, is it layer 4, 5, 5? Let's just redo those. So let's go back and do the same thing again. Just paint them. 9. Let's go grab that shape again. Try to make it right this time. Okay. We're going to get a high enough res. Let's see, how do we have it? We had it like that, right? Or no? It's kind of cutting like that. Yes. Yeah, that's looking better. See, that's much more correct. And we're not going to be exactly right again, but doesn't matter. It's mostly about putting things so it feels right, and we can always stretch it. Okay, so that's where that's going to go, and I like that. Maybe instead of doing the knee joint next, let's do the leg part next. We'll use that same piece because I liked it. And let's flip it over so it's just easier to handle. Leg there. A little smaller. Leg there. Leg there. There. Now, okay, so now that gives us everything we need. Turn off layer 5. Yeah, it still reads. Now let's give it a knee, which we were using that round ball thing, and I kind of liked it. So in like that, sure. In like that, not exactly. Like that. This feels very Stalenhag to me. Simon, I'm sorry if I'm not doing your style right. But he definitely seems to like these like ball joint things, in my opinion. Yeah, still not lining that one up right though. It's vertical. Close enough. Okay. Part of the problem is I didn't get the other one right. Yeah, that's feeling way better now for me in terms of level of detail. And feet. I didn't like that foot thing, so let's use another new layer and try to do our own kind of foot versus this. Something like that. Cool. I'm actually going to try something here. So I'm on my own layer. Yeah. Let's build this foot the way I would want it to be. I'm going to have 2 because I'm on symmetry, but I think I'm actually going to turn symmetry off and delete 1. Because I think I'm going to try making just like a foot stamp and using that to fill all 6. That way I can get them right. It's kind of working for me. See what happens if we make it bigger. I want to. Ooh, that's cool. I mean, not quite that big, but that's cool. Let's get that like industrial, whatever vibe to it. as I've said the last couple days, I'm really getting to that point where I feel like um, erasing can be cooler than adding. That you add parts and it gets more complicated, but you erase parts and it gets way more complicated, way faster, and it feels more designed to me, which is kind of what I want. And by kind of, I mean exactly what I want. One there, there. Not exactly the foot yet, but I think we're starting to get something cool. Where if it doesn't work, it'll be kind of neat anyway. Okay, at the very least, I feel like that looks like a foot. So let's go turn off mirroring. Continuous. That. And delete that foot. Now, let's take this layer and make a stamp out of it. Now, we should be able to, oh, well, I'm actually going to delete the layer now. Add a new layer. Trace the rest twice. Single. Paste it in. It's a little lower res, seems like, afterward. It seems like it degrades it a little bit. Let's go back to mirroring. Not flat. Close enough to flat. Not flat. Close enough to flat. And these kind of curve inward, right? That. Close enough to flat. There we go. So now I got all three of them the same, even though I don't have, any way to make that symmetry. And now I have this weird foot shape that I may use for something else at some point. But all right, so we're rocking and rolling here. Let's save. Why have I lost the buttons on this side? They used to glow. I don't know. They used to be colored. Always makes me nervous when things change like that because it's kind of like, what? So let's see what happens if we take this foot shape and put it there like that. And then maybe rotate it. You'd never know that was the foot, but it's cool. I'm digging that. Feels kind of industrially. So now, another new layer. We're inside our shape still. Yep. And let's go add some things like this. I don't know why things like this just scream farm equipment to me. Like, just to have a couple of handlebars. At the side there. Yeah, symmetry's on. I'm not sure how people get into this thing. Maybe there's a in there. And if this were going to be like a full-on concept design that was realized, I would have to figure that out. But right now, I'm not going to. So, it's one of those things you need to be aware of that you might have to do it later, but there we go. Okay. I don't know what they are, but I kind of like them. Same there. And maybe, let's go to the new layer. go to continuous, no stroke tapering with the ball, because we're just going to add some cables now to make it feel like it's actually steady stroke, which makes it take a lot longer to go in. There. And there. Yeah, so these things clearly, this doesn't work, but I think it works for the purposes of making our shapes look right. We would need to design a whole bunch more mechanisms around there. And I think what I will do maybe is hide that a little bit. So cool. Yeah, let's put a little skirt on those legs. This one we won't increase the res on because I want to keep it pretty. Let's see if I can do it. Single, steady stroke just because I don't want it later. How about, which way does it go? Like that. Like that. Move. Move. That. That's a little too obvious maybe, but I think we're going to do that though. And then we'll cut into it a little bit and hopefully that'll feel better. Let's use an interesting shape to cut into it though. That maybe? No. No. And problem is it's low enough res that it might not. Let's up res it. See if that'll help. No. Let's just try the square. Down. And go to continuous, and we'll kind of carve. Am I on the right layer? That works. Something like that. I didn't connect those in the front. Do I want to? Let's see. Yeah, maybe. Sure. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like the skirt. It works for me. And it helps hide some of the more problematic mechanical aspects of this sucker. Because, yeah, we're not lined up, like we're not right. But those little imperfections can be kind of cool too, so. Okay. Now let's add another new layer. Piece res, single, and just give it some points. There. And there. And there. No, not that. But maybe something in the front there. All right, that works. And then we'll kind of do the same there in the back just to give it some interest. And connect it there. Okay. So it looks like it stands. Looks like it's reasonably balanced. We could go with some headlights on it. Let's do that. Another new layer. And yeah, let go. There we go. There we go. Now I can just give it, although those are all going to glow now. So, and then, not another new layer. Let's go back to layer 15. Put those there. Now let's go to layer 16. Grab a globe. Something very straightforward and simple. There we go. Now those can glow. And just to make sure, yep, that looks right. And glass, let's try the same thing. Get a different color to the glass. Okay. So that's where our glass will be. So our headlights. Do I see anything broken, stupid on it? Not at the moment. Save. I'm liking it. I think it's cool. Anything else I want to do to it right away? Yeah, no, I like that. Not having more pipe, more cabling there. Maybe some more leg cables. I'm gonna go back with the Stalenhag sort of style. The 13, yeah, 13 was my cable layer. Continuous, steady stroke up a bit, but not a lot. Cable there. There. Just so it feels like there is a plethora of crap coming out of everything and going into everywhere. And that helps it sell. Yeah. Yeah, more cables is always good. Because this is not an industrial vehicle or a military vehicle, rather, there's no need for it to be like hard protected. So you'd actually kind of want some of those cables out. So if something broke, it'd be easy to fix. Like not too out because you don't want to get hit by debris, but just out enough that like, yeah, that could be replaced and, you know, some farmhand could come in here and make it right. And going nuts with the cables. Um, Things that would never 3D model or 3D print properly because they're too tiny, but I think they're cool. So, and obviously the different legs are not the same. The cables are going different places and all that kind of stuff, but I think it's fine. Um, yeah, I think it's feeling, I can say, relatively Stalenhag-esque. I love that that has become a phrase that you can use to determine how something looks, because man is awesome. Yeah, it feels good. Feels like I don't know, 80s style mecha farm combine thing, which sweet. What are we at? Polys? We're only at 4 mil. It's not that bad. Oh well, I'm on mm, yeah, 9 mil if I go to 100. Um, and I don't know if I want to paint textures or vertex colors. Um, I don't think I need um, any of that kind of flashy stuff, so I'll leave this big right now. I can always come back and re-export it or take it into KeyShot and do that. So let's export. I'm not going to decimate it, make it small or UV it. Well, I think that's it for today. I will take this and put it into KeyShot and then put it up on my Instagram. Thanks for watching. If you've not already, please subscribe. I post all these up on YouTube later, so the archive is here if you want to go see kind of what I did or show it to somebody else and say, look how cool that is. We should hire Seth. You should do that. Anyway, have a great day, and I'll see you guys later. Okay, bye-bye.